Hello, I am Brett Knowles, and this is a quick overview of the targeted analysis that we do around aware data. This is basically a predictive or even non-predictive big data detailed analysis of the data produced through the aware system. The idea is that many of our customers have concerns or needs that the aware data can help them grapple with. Simple things like where to identify opportunities for process improvement, where program changes might include changing some of the vocational rehabilitation activities and have an impact on patient success. How they might want to implement major program changes, such as in Colorado, where they wanted to implement a new center for the blind. It also allows them to prepare for adjustments relating to major shifts within the vocational rehabilitation system, legislation, funding, and so forth. It allows them to evaluate past service outcomes in order to prepare for or even enhance existing partnerships. And then finally, it provides them a tool to address audit findings that come from them from either state or federal partners and feedback systems. So what is value? Well, the VCA model calculates a value through the benefits derived from the vocational rehabilitation process. So we calculate a dollar amount that we can attribute to each case, and then we can analyze that by what the vendor might have done, what the process was, and so forth, and begin to determine where opportunities lie. That value is a score that we derived by attributing attributes based on each agency. So basically, there's a cost involved and value created. And the cost, in this case, the input is the agency's budget. And then based on the case that comes to them, there's a bunch of attributes that we need to manage through. And then we can choose vendors, and then the vendors have defined outcomes. So basically, there are 3 stages to the value allocation process. In stage 1, we look at things like what the patient actually earns as a result of the vocation, the severity of the disability they came to us with, what the benefits are they're provided with, and what the advancement opportunity is for the participant through the vocation that they've been undergoing. So that provides the values based on a case. As we take a look at the vendors, we take a look at the sort of services they provided, the volume of services that they provided to that particular case, and of course what the outcomes were. And then finally we attribute the final value, which is the contribution minus the cost, to figure out what the net value was. So by applying this to the aware data, we get some interesting information. And I'll give you a few examples from a couple of the cases that we've done for Colorado. This is a simple chart that we call a whale tail, and what we look at here is the net value that's created. So we can see that if we do training post-secondary schools, in fact, not much value is created at all. The cost is greater than the value created, all the way to the ones on the right-hand side where we're doing assessments and medical and psychological support, where a great amount of value is created. So this whale tail shows us a distribution of where value is created, in this case by the service categories that they worked in. And we can see that some service categories deliver much better value than others. This is useful in us beginning to determine how we profile a case and what sort of activities we should be taking them through. Here's another example of, again, what looks like a data blizzard, but gave us some interesting findings. So what this is looking at is the orange bars are showing us the disability severity. So obviously here we've got lower severity going up to higher severity. The gray line is taking a look at the rehabilitation success rate on average, and the numbers tell us the number of cases. And so we can see that obviously with a lower disability we have a higher success rate, and as we move off to the right, more severe disabilities have a lower success rate. Now, what we can begin to do is also take a look at each vendor to see, based on the mix of patients they're given and different severity, do the different vendors have different efficiency rates? And again, this allows us to begin to identify our particular vendors more adept at supporting particular types of cases. Finally, we're trying to understand something about wages by location. So for example, if you happen to be in Denver, the average wage that you earn through vocational rehab is higher than in other parts of the state. But even within Denver, we can see that some vendors are much more able to get patients earning a higher rate than other vendors. Again, this allows us to begin to do some analysis by vendor. This is all data that exists in the AWARE system, but this analysis allows us to begin dealing with some of these issues that our patients and our agencies are trying to grapple with. I hope this has been useful to you. We'll provide more detail on this when you find agencies that are interested in this more comprehensive, targeted analysis, either predictive or non-predictive. Thank you for your time.